quality. We've had some issues with the cameras. Why this keeps happening, I'm really not entirely sure, but unfortunately that's pretty much the way it works. So for right now, okay, getting that going, recording, and off we go. What did I do with it? And here we go. All right, so in the last minute or so before we start things up, questions about the forecast going on, please drop them into the comments section and just say hi if you would like to. That's a great opportunity to get to know our viewers out there. If you have anything going on and would like to be able to share in that, we can't do this business without you, the viewers, to let us know more about what exactly is going on out there. So would love to hear from you on that. So please let us know a little bit more about what you're seeing and hearing about out there, and we will get things going here with Facebook in just a little bit. Continue to see more chances of rain and thunderstorms into the course of the next couple of days. So if you do have plans for outdoors, getting out and about, it is going to be probably very much on the soggy side. So definitely want to plan ahead for anything that could be just a bit of a problem out there. So for tonight and for the next couple of days, it could be a bit of a problem out there. All right, that's it. So we are on live with Facebook. Let me just double check our Facebook page to make certain everything is working properly. Looks like we are. And as of right now, welcome to the show. I'm Chief Meteorologist Austen, Onek, keeping you updated as to what is going on in regards to the forecast. We do have a lot to talk about for tonight, so if you have questions about what's going on, drop those into the comments section. Coming to you live at just past 10 o'clock. We're on a little bit later because it's Thursday night. What does that have to do with it? Well, we record some stuff in the studio at about 9:45, 10 o'clock Eastern time that we have to get done before the weekend. And so Thursday night's the best time to get all that done. So we have to go on with weather overtime just a little bit later than what we usually do. But again, that's a minor bit of an inconvenience there, and not seeing too much of any other major problems to talk about tonight. There are some showers and thunderstorms out there. We'll talk more about that coming up in just a little while. Thanks to News 12 viewer Joe C. from the Dalton area for a beautiful view of the New York City skyline. Wave hello to my cousin Alex. He's out there someplace in the Bronx. That view, again, from the Brooklyn area, and that is our HEP heating weather window picture of the day. So thanks to Mr. Joe for sending that along. If you've got pictures, we'd love to see what you're taking a look at, and we would love to show them to everybody else. So email, drop them to social media, or go to Weather Window headquarters at WDEF.com/photos, and yours could be the next HEP heating weather window picture of the day. It's calm and quiet in downtown Chattanooga for tonight. Really just not that much. You can see some clouds kind of obscuring the top of Lookout Mountain and looking off toward Raccoon Mountain off toward the southwest for this evening. We have been seeing a lot of rain and thunderstorms, and will continue to do so out there for tonight. A little hazy, very humid. A lot of clouds out there for this evening, and traffic on some fairly wet roadways at 2475 moving along pretty well at this time. And one more camera on the EPB Fiber Optics Weather Cam network. The view from the zoo looking out toward Holtzclaw Avenue, and showing again a quiet night for Thursday. If you're out and about tonight, it is going to be mild to say the least. Temperatures back in the low 70s just past 10 o'clock. And then dew point temperatures pretty high, so we've got a decent amount of humidity, so it is rather on the sultry side for this evening, and will continue to be that way throughout the rest of the evening from what it looks like, and for that matter for the next several days out there. Right past 10 o'clock, we've got some line of thunderstorms coming into the area. Roundabout close to northeast Alabama, Jackson County, Alabama, northeastmost county in Alabama, getting the heaviest rainfall. That's going to be moving up into Marion County, Tennessee. None of these are severe. Want to make certain everybody knows about that right now, but some heavy rainfall possible from some of this activity. And other than that, the heaviest rainfall back to the east of Chattanooga over into and around, say, Bradley County, down into Polk, Tennessee, Fannin, Georgia, lifting up to the north and to the east. And there's going to be more activity like this off and on throughout the rest of the evening. We've got more thunderstorms developing down toward Birmingham and off toward northwest Alabama. Now, the stuff down by Birmingham, if it holds together, will be making its way up into the area into the next several hours. But these storms over the last several days have been what are called pulse-type thunderstorms. They develop, they drift, they collapse, and then they can start all over with, or that's it, and they just don't reform anymore. So for tonight, that is going to be what we'll see again all the way through the night into tomorrow morning. So if you're planning on getting up for school or for the last day of school for a lot of folks out there, anything in the way of early morning travel, be prepared for some possible heavy amounts of rainfall. Regionally, the rain stretches from Chesapeake Bay all the way down to the Rio Grande, and we've got plenty more activity possible into the next couple of days. Severe weather doesn't appear to be a problem. That is taking place with some severe thunderstorm watches around Oklahoma, Texas, Kansas, and into Colorado. That is their time of the year to really pick up some better possibilities of severe weather. Even some snowfall coming down around northwest of Denver in north central Colorado. So just cold enough there for a little bit more in the way of winter weather to stick around, even though it is almost late May. Nice to see some snow on the peaks out there. For tonight, again, expecting more of those potentials of showers and thunderstorms to be taking place. Severe weather doesn't appear to be a problem for now. It might be a problem into Friday, but we'll take a look at that forecast coming up here in just a little bit. Cause of all this is our stationary front. The system that generated this is way out over the Atlantic and even the North Atlantic up toward like Greenland in that area. So that storm system is way over here up close to north of Hudson Bay and around Greenland and even Iceland. The front that drifts along behind it, these systems can linger and wobble around for days, if not weeks. And this one, fairly healthy, is going to be sticking around into the next several days. It's going to fall apart as it does. And then this next system over the plain states, which is causing those thunderstorms and severe weather, that will be heading our direction as we go into the next few days. That's going to kind of reinforce this system, the one that's over us right now, and will give us better potential of showers and thunderstorms again through the weekend and into next week. So there is really not much of any relief from the rainfall coming up. We need it desperately. About 8 inches behind on rain for the last couple of days and weeks, and we could really use even more than that. And that's a good possibility according to what the forecasts are showing us. For tonight, low temperatures, northeast parts of Alabama back in the high 50s to around the low 60s. Into north central Georgia, a little cooler, low 60s there. Mid 60s across much of northwest Georgia in the News 12 viewing area. Western North Carolina, you'll be the coolest in those higher elevations. Could be some high 50s to about the lower 60s, and much of southeast Tennessee will be back into the low 60s, especially the plateau and the I-75 corridor up toward I-40. That, again, will be the best potential for what we might call cooler weather, but at this time of the year, we are getting into that time frame to where we're just not looking at too much cooler weather. This is Thursday, so the U.S. Drought Monitor, in cooperation with agencies like NOAA and the University of North Carolina, issues the Drought Monitor statement. And this statement for this Thursday is almost identical to last Thursday, with the bulk of the News 12 viewing area in a 4 out of 5 extreme drought situation. It's improved somewhat for northwest Georgia and northeast Alabama and the plateau in Tennessee, but we are still way behind on rainfall, and what we need is several days worth of rain. That looks to be pretty much what the forecast is giving us. Problem for outdoor activities, good news where this is concerned, because the more rain we get, the less stress we have on agriculture and for the wildfire situations out there. May is National Wildfire Awareness Month, if you did not know that, so something to check out there from the National Interagency Fire Center. Climate Prediction Center's short-range forecast is showing very good news in that we'll be looking at better potential of rainfall across the southeast United States, where again over the last couple of months we've had numerous wildfires taking place. That rain, if it continues and arrives fairly well on schedule, that's really going to help us out with making certain that everything is going to be looking a lot better. And notice again, it kind of comes in waves to where we see better potential of rain about every 6 to 12 hours. There will be better chances of rain out there. Now through about the next, say, 48 to 72 hours, we do pick up some pretty good amounts, but it's scattered differently to where some areas may not pick up all that much, and some areas might hit the jackpot nearing 3 inches of rain in the next few days. What we don't need to happen is for all of this rain to come down all at once in a very localized area. If that happens, we could be looking at the potential of some flash flooding, and that also creates its own problem in that we could be seeing some more dangers from that. So any driving or working or living around or in these areas, especially those low-lying areas in around creeks, streams, valleys, things like that, watch out for that potential in the next few days. It's not a huge chance, but flash flooding is a potential, and that is something that we do need to be paying attention to. Now, we also, at least as of tonight, the flash flooding risk mainly goes back to our west over portions of the Midwest where that next storm system is coming on through, but that threat reestablishes itself for flash flooding across the area on Friday and then subsides a little bit, but is still in portions of the area for Saturday, especially south and east of Chattanooga. And then the threat pretty much diminishes as the best potential of heavier rainfall goes east of the News 12 viewing area for both Sunday and for the holiday on Monday. So not great news for outdoor activities. We also have the potential for severe weather on Friday. It does not look to be a severe weather outbreak. This is not a major catastrophic event, but every single county in the News 12 viewing area does stand a 1 out of 5 marginal. That's the dark green that you see on there, a marginal threat for severe weather. The primary threat will be the potential of damaging winds from any storms that get to severe status, but there is also a non-zero potential of tornadoes. So we are going to have to watch that with a lot of interest into tomorrow. The best time for anything involving severe weather will be coming up into tomorrow afternoon, and right about the time the kids are getting done with their last day of school, so that could be an issue. So administrators, principals, teachers, whoever's in charge of the car rider line dismissal time really need to watch this, because again, if that goes a little bit more active, may need to postpone dismissal or make certain you have an alternate plan on there. The Colorado State University forecasters came out with their forecast for the next season about a few weeks ago, and NOAA has now issued their hurricane season outlook. Hurricane season for the Atlantic begins in just under 10 days, so we are almost to the start of another hurricane season, and this is something to really pay attention to. Now, because we have less possibility of hurricanes, the forecast at this time is going to be lower than on typical years because of what is called El Nino, the warming of the waters in the Pacific about half a world away is going to affect the weather in the Atlantic, the Gulf, and the Caribbean. So if a strong El Nino shows up, and that's what a lot of forecasts are saying, it's a good possibility that the Atlantic, the Gulf, and the Caribbean will see a lesser, not quite so dangerous, what they're calling below normal forecast for this upcoming season, to where we see 8 to 14 named storms. Of those, 3 to 6 become hurricanes. Of those, 1 to 3 become major or category 3 hurricanes. So that's less than what we usually see in a year's time. typical tropical storm or a La Nina year where the waters of the Pacific are not hot but they're cooler, that can allow for a much more active hurricane season, which is kind of what we saw last year by just a little bit. So we're looking at what seems to be a quieter forecast for this year on hurricanes. Remember, though, it only takes one storm to ruin somebody's day. So if you're planning on traveling to the coastline, having fun at the beach, that's great, but please be weather aware and keep up to date with what might be coming your direction. Now, as an aside, and one of the more interesting aspects and facets of hurricane season is what are the names going to be this year? Well, this is kind of the cool spot to take a look at here, because if your name is on the list, that right there, these are your choices for right now. And I know a couple of people who have names like this on here. Austen is never a consideration, and my wife, Melissa, her name was retired last year with one of the strongest hurricanes ever recorded in the Atlantic. So you will no longer ever see a Hurricane Melissa again. But if your name is on this list, your name will be used quite a lot if it becomes a very active season. So check it out. More information at hurricanes.gov or at noaa.gov, where you can find out more about the forecast that is on here. As we told you a few minutes ago, May is National Wildfire Awareness Month. If you'd like to know more about that, about what the firefighters do to keep people safe, about what the forecasters do to keep people safe, you can find out more through the National Interagency Fire Center, and that information is at nifc.gov. Fascinating place to look at what goes into the forecast for and the fighting of wildfires, and more importantly, what you and I can do to help reduce the wildfire risk, because as they rightly say, all it takes is one stray spark when conditions are right to launch a major wildfire that could become a threat to property and, more importantly, to life and human existence out there. So that is something to really pay attention to. So something to think about on that throughout the rest of the Wildfire Awareness Month. Tomorrow, starting at 9 o'clock, the My Waterways group here in around Chattanooga is going to be holding a cleanup of the Ocoee River, at least a part of it anyway. Rogers Branch put in at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. If you'd like to help clean up the trash out there and make the world a little bit better place, find out more at mywaterways.org. But again, that is Friday the 22nd, 9 o'clock in the morning. Thank you very much to My Waterways for putting this information out. This information here I borrowed from their Instagram page, so thank you guys very much for announcing this and helping everyone to be able to pitch in on things to help out. Here's what it looks like from Island Cove. It's a beautiful evening. It's quiet. It's fairly on the humid side for tonight, and there's some pretty good lightning out there that we just saw looking out to the northeast. That's the storms that are over parts of Bradley County, moving away from Chattanooga, so you might see some more lightning flashes going on. So for tonight, and not just on this camera, but out the window for this evening. Severe weather chances tonight just really not showing up. But as we get into tomorrow, severe weather chances, got that marginal risk, and as you can see with the percentage chances, we haven't seen this much rain on the forecast since, I believe, January or February. So we've got quite a long ways to go where it comes to rainfall out there. That's good because we could use that, but unfortunately right now that could be a problem for outdoor activities through Memorial Day and going into next week. More potential for rain as we go from May into June. Again, we've got field day activities, we've got outdoor graduation ceremonies going on, so a lot of the planners for that stuff are going to have to be weather aware, because if we start getting into more heavy rain, gusty winds, damaging thunderstorm winds, or even tornadoes, we need to be aware of that and act accordingly when it comes to those outdoor activities. So again, thanks to everybody for pitching in to make certain everybody stays safe right there. That should do it for tonight. We're only on for a little bit. Time is just past 10:30 Eastern time, but we've got more stuff to do in the studio before News 12 at 11, so I've got to wrap things up here for this evening and keep you updated as we go into the rest of the week. Chip Chapman is here in the morning with your forecast starting at 5 a.m. If you'd like to see, again, the encore presentations of Weather Overtime, use our app, go to our website, and as always, you can catch me on my social media pages as well. So stay tuned there. If you got anything to say and if you have any questions that we didn't cover here tonight, email address in the blue bar down on the lower section of your screen, or on Twitch in the red bar. Sorry about that, need to fix that. Go ahead and email us at aonek@wdef.com, and I'd be glad to help you out with any questions you may have on there. Live and direct from downtown Chattanooga, Tennessee, I'm Chief Meteorologist Austen Onek from the News 12 studios on Broad Street in downtown Chattanooga. So stay tuned for more with News 12 on air and online, and we'll catch you again on